Hey there guys, what is going on? Welcome to the patch 1.20 patch notes on the April the 28th or 29th, depending on where you do live. Today we are of course going to be talking about the patch notes for the mid-season update in Modern Warfare and of course in Warzone. And there's lots of stuff for us to cover here today. We do have a fair amount of things to go through. We're getting new weapons, new maps, new stuff like that, new playlists as usual, and of course numerous changes to Warzone. So of course we're going to be talking about them today. But just before we do get into talking about the patch notes, let's try and get this one to 20 likes. The support from you guys has continued to be absolutely fantastic recently. So make sure you do subscribe if you are new around here, of course, and I would very much appreciate that. So straight into the patch notes here. We of course have the playlist update as we usually get. We do have Blueprint Gunfight, which of course is going to be selecting different blueprint weapons to go into gunfight, which is kind of interesting. Reinfected Ground War, which I'm not 100% sure what is, but I guess just ground war with more people and sort of infected as well, which is pretty cool. We've got 3v3 Cranked Gunfight, which is going to be kind of interesting, forcing people to sort of move towards each other in gunfight rather than just camping in corners and stuff like that, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm not a big gunfight player myself, but this is particularly cool, so I might try this one. We do, of course, have Shoot the Ship 24/7 returning, which is, I'm sure, going to be one of those things that everybody looks at this and is just like, this is the best thing they've ever added to the game. I don't know why they keep removing these kind of things. I know they rotate fairly often, like on a fairly continuous, like weekly basis or so, but you just have certain playlists that are just so popular that you should just probably just leave them in the game. This does, of course, include Cranked and Grind, which is kind of cool, sort of more interesting game modes to add to this playlist. And Cranked on Shipment is going to be very, very interesting. And the Warzone playlist update exists in solos, trios, and quads, which is pretty standard as we're used to now. No doubles yet, no duos, unfortunately. We've got Plunder Trios, which is interesting. And we have the Most Wanted contract. Instead of a random operator being marked on your TAC map, you are voluntarily putting a bounty on yourself for any squad to see in Verdansk. Of course, this does have some great rewards, which is actually very, very interesting. I'm not 100% sure what those rewards are going to be. We'll have to wait until the patch does drop, which is, I'm sure, very, very soon. So that's kind of exciting. I always like to see new game modes in Warzone, but again, no duos yet, so we'll have to wait and see. They're doing a little bit of a new downloading system with the PS4 and Xbox. Today's update includes a required download for PlayStation and Xbox, which is about 15 gigabytes and is required to access Modern Warfare. Once you do install the patch and select a game mode, one of multiplayer, campaign, or the special operations, you'll be brought into the game install menu. Here you download the pack from the menu and then you sort of have to restart your game, which is a bit weird, but you know, one of those things. We'll see what happens. Just see what happens with this, you know. I also don't see, I've checked through this and I also don't see any mention of the new map or new weapon being added. So we'll hopefully get those as well with this patch. Like I can't imagine them not adding those. So I guess we will see and continue on. General fixes, they added a challenges tab to the main multiplayer screen, which is nice. Adjusting how the audio is played for the precision airstrike so it follows the plane more precisely. What about turning the audio down? Have they considered that? Because that's the loudest thing in the game, I'm sure. Fixed a bug where players using keyboard and mouse in-game battles could make custom weapon blueprints that could also be used in multiplayer or Warzone. No idea. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. Currently, white text will appear when somebody is speaking regardless of team. Now when somebody is on the enemy team, their text will appear red. Again, just sort of little quality of life improvements that should already be in the game. Fixed for an exploit on Hackney Yard while playing Infected. Not too interesting there. Fixed a bug that would prevent players from being able to melee an enemy while on top of an ATV. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know about that. Various out-of-bounds exploits and fixes, which is fair enough. After the last update, Talon's character model appeared stretched with graphical corruption issues when in the squad walk. So big Talon's just walking around, he just looks hella stretched. That's stupid. Fixed for some Season 3 emblems appearing with incorrect text. Moving on. Fixed an issue with Kruger's eyes. No interested in that at all. Fixed a bug where some watches were appearing in the wrong... No. Fixed a bug where players could lose the option to pick their favorite faction. Fixed a bug where white lighting could be seen when firing or moving a weapon near specific locations. That was kind of an issue that I did see them fix a little while ago, but apparently it's been fixed now. So added a gamepad only dead zone option that allows players to adjust their inner range in which stick input would not be registered, which is interesting. It's always good to see more dead zone updates because I don't use a controller myself, but I know having more options to how your controller actually functions is always going to be a good thing. Fixed an issue that prevented party members from editing their COD League loadouts when the COD League quick play playlist filter was active. That's bizarre. Fixed an issue where the auto run feature would stop when players opened their in-game text chat. Again, kind of dumb. Fixed an issue that prevented players from zooming in and out on the TAC map if jump was bound on the mouse wheel. Interesting. I suppose it's just one of those things. If you change the controls, it sort of messes up stuff and sort of can't get around. I think I remember seeing that they fixed it apparently. Disappointingly, there is not an awful lot of weapon balancing here. Most people wanted to see a nerf to some of the akimbo pistols in Warzone, but apparently we haven't got any of that. So keep an eye out for stealth changes and stuff like that. There's been a fix for a bug where completing the completionist challenges for the SKS are unlocking the associated camos for the Renetti. Okay, that's kind of dumb. Fix for a bug when unlocking camos for the SKS was inconsistent with other camo challenges for marksman rifles. Interesting, I guess they must just had the wrong challenges on them. Fixed a bug for the hardwired skin where Alex would appear in thermals while cold-blooded is equipped. That's kind of dumb. Imagine that. Like, you think you've got cold-blooded on and you're just running around as that particular Alex skin and somebody just shoots you. You look on the kill cam, you just see your bright white. And you're like, well, that's not supposed to be like that. And Warzone. The ability to view available XP tokens is not visible in the Warzone menu. That's been fixed. That's cool. I mean, double XP tokens aren't super useful in Warzone unless you're getting like 30 kills a game. Like if you're getting heaps of kills a game, it's going to be the most valuable thing you can put on. If you're only getting like 3 to 5, like 3 to 10-ish, you're not going to get super lots of experience because games go for half an hour. If you use a 15-minute token, you have to go off. So it's not really super relevant. After being brought back into the match, a player was in a state where they couldn't interact with the team's loadout drop, and they had a revive prompt on them, even though they were alive. I mentioned that the other day. I saw that. That was so weird. That actually happened to me, but hopefully that's been fixed. Like, that's just one of those things where we couldn't explain what happened, and our guy went down, and he was alive, so that's weird. Adjusting the speed and sizing of the circle, which is always good. Hopefully that moves a little bit faster, maybe, and sort of prevents less camping and stuff like that. We'll see what happens, though. We've added the cargo truck back in BR solos with reduced turning speed, acceleration, and top speed. So they're actually going to feel fairly tanky, but you're still going to be able to run over people fairly well. I'm kind of excited about the cargo truck going back into Battle Royale solos. Move the scoreboard to be visible in the pause menu. That's kind of cool and always nice to see your score, especially if you're not just like checking the top right all the time. You pop that sort of menu up and you can see your score. That's kind of cool. Fixed for an issue where the Arthur Action Report was not displaying the team's total earnings. Meh. Fixed a bug where players were unable to equip armor plates when dead silence is activated. Maybe that's what was causing that issue. I can't remember. Like sometimes I just couldn't equip armor no matter how much I had. Maybe it was because of dead silence. Who knows? We do have a new armor here with the armor satchel. Finding one of these will allow you to carry up to 8 armor plates instead of 5. These drop on death and can be looted by other players. They do not contain any armor by default, only increase the player armor count. Guaranteed reward upon completing scavenger contracts, replacing gas mask as the guaranteed item. That's kind of interesting. It's always nice to see them adding stuff like that, just sort of make the game a little bit fresh, change some sort of meta implications, make you actually buy gas masks and stuff like that. And the gas mask will remain rare in loot and purchasable from the buy station. Again, just one of those things that helps you sort of keep the game fresh, make it a little bit more interesting in certain regards. Now we have a Plunder Rating as well. When you finish a match of Plunder, you're now given a rating in the form of a coin, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and more. The more cash your team collected, the cooler the coin. Get above 3.5 million to find out the highest rating. Interesting. That's kind of cool. At least it sort of tells you how you did in terms of Plunder now. Because if you played a Plunder game before, it's just like, you got $200. And the game's like, that's it. You obviously didn't win because it doesn't say, hey, you were number one or whatever. But if you got a certain amount, like say you got $200,000 total, that's it. You couldn't get any more. It's like, did I do well? Well, probably not, but I don't know. So this is kind of helpful. We do not care about the special operations stuff at all because I don't play that, so I'm not going to read that. If you want to, you can pause the video here and check that out for yourself. And of course, there is PC fixes as there usually is, where we fix a bug for players using a Vega 64 GPU, could see corrupted outlines around their character, and fix a crash that occurred to players using a GeForce 900 series graphics card when they loaded the Crosswind special operations. I mean, that's not super interesting and one of those things that most people don't experience, so hopefully this particular patch doesn't actually cause as many crashes as the last one did. Like, it was just constant crashes before, and then for some reason it just got fixed, so who knows really. But yeah, that was a quick little patch notes covery. Like, basically, there wasn't too much that was super interesting. We are getting, of course, the new weapon eventually in the game with the new patch. And of course, we're getting like the map updates and the custom blueprint sort of menu, which enables us to sort of build our own custom classes with the weapons and different attachments from different blueprints, which is kind of cool. If you did enjoy this one or it was very helpful for you, make sure you do leave a like and do subscribe if you are new around here. Of course, I do very much appreciate it and it does very much help me out. Thank you for watching this particular patch notes reading, and I'll see you in the Warzone and in Modern Warfare. See ya!